This program proudly brought to you by the new Honda Civic.
Good afternoon everyone and welcome to Australia's International Racecourse Flemington for this very special preview of our great race, the Foster's Melbourne Cup of the year 2000. And it's a beautiful day out here, a drying wind. It's only going to be good news for the racecourse, hopefully getting ever better between now and 3:20 on Tuesday afternoon. Over the next hour, we're going to be talking to some of the personalities involved, the overseas trainers, finding out more about the Northern Hemisphere Raiders and hopefully finding you the winner of our great race. And to do just that, I have the panel with me, somewhat reduced panel here in the studio at Flemington. Jenny Chapman, John Letts. Hello.
Hi. Good morning, Pete.
Now, Jen, what about yesterday? 92,000 people, and it was a day of drama too.
Well, it felt like it was going to be, Peter, because when we drove in, and it was very early, around about 8 o'clock, there was a lot of cars already queued to get in, and it was just a great day.
Johnny Letts, have you recovered from sitting on banjo most of the day yesterday?
Yes, I have, Pete. We had a great day out there yesterday, and I found it quite easy to move around yesterday, even though there was a record crowd, but I think that's because of the new stand. Yeah. It holds about, what, 9,000, 10,000 people.
Yeah.
But it was just so comfortable here, and it was one of the best days, one of the best derby days I'd spent, I think.
Well, we're going to have an enormous crowd. We can actually move around the studio a little bit easier today because we're normally one more, and Richard Friedman, well, we've given him the red card. No, we haven't. No, just kidding. He's at Sandown. Hello, Rich.
Hello, mate. I'm out here at Sandown because all the international horses are training out here. I thought I'd come out and have a quick look at them.
Well, we want you to give us all of the information and we'll go through each and every horse in the race. So we'll get back to you shortly. But, of course, last night here at Flemington, the all-important barrier draw was held for the Foster's Melbourne Cup. And the chairman of stewards, Mr. Des Gleeson, was officiating. What he did was he drew out the marbles and then the connections of the horses, like Len Smith there was Sky Bow, came up and took the miniature trophy, and he got barrier 5. Citrus Prince got barrier number 18. And in fact, we can take a look at the entire field and see what did happen as far as the cup field was concerned. Jen, some good news for some of the overseas horses and some bad news as well.
Yes, well, I thought Far Cry here has drawn very nicely in barrier 10. Peter, what I've seen of him, he can sit just off the pace, and I think from that barrier he should just be able to do that.
Good gate for Freemason, Lexi, I think, barrier 2.
He's drawn barrier 2, Pete. With his weight, 53 kilos, he's going to have a nice run from there. But horses like you were just mentioning, the overseas horses, Arctic Owl, 56.5 from 21, makes it hard.
Carpstad Way, if he runs, and that all depends on the state of the track, not a bad draw in 12, I don't think.
No, he's drawn quite well. You'd expect him to get back a little bit, Peter, but yeah, I think they'd be happy with that.
And as we saw, Skybow drew barrier number 5 when Len Smith came up and got the miniature, and then we go to the last 8 runners and taking a look at those and their respective barrier draws. And of course the big one there is right down the bottom, Letzi.
He's the biggest tightener in betting in the last couple of days, Pete, and barrier 24, but I don't think that's going to be too much of an impost on him. He's got 49 kilos lightweight.
There's the expectation for the weather. Cloudy, around about 22 degrees. We've got our fingers crossed. The track report's slow at the moment. It might improve, and the rail should be in the true position come Tuesday. Well, let's have a look at the runners. First of all, Enzeli, number 1. He will lead the field out onto the track for the Foster's Melbourne Cup on Tuesday. He's one of the overseas raiders. Some of the facts and figures surrounding this horse: trained by John Ox, to be ridden by Greg Hall. He's got barrier 6, 57 kilos. Now let's have a look at some of his recent performances, and you will see here that he finished 8th in the Ascot Gold Cup down the track, but won the Doncaster Cup. And then he finished 5th in the Prix de Cadran, and he's had 4 starts on rain-affected ground for 1 win. Well, of course, most of the overseas horses are a bit of a mystery to us at the moment, so let's find out more. We take you out to Sandown, and John Ox, the trainer of Enzeli, joins us. John, welcome to Australia. First of all, are you going to take our Melbourne Cup to the Northern Hemisphere?
Well, that's a big question. We're hoping we run well anyway. You can't be confident coming all this way. There are a lot of unknowns to us. It's a bit of a big adventure, really. and we're hoping he can run very well. He's a good horse. You know, we're hoping he'll put up a good show, but we can't be confident that he's going to win or anything like that.
We're going to take a look at one of his finest victories, and that was the 99 Ascot Gold Cup. And as we pick up the action, we're going to see this horse accelerate. Obviously, he has a tremendous turn of foot when he's let down.
Well, he has, but that, remember, was over 2.5 miles, but he produced a great burst that day. He was in great form. It was probably his best run. He has run probably similar race this year in the Doncaster Cup early in September. He won that nicely too, giving away a good bit of weight. But at 2.5 miles, you know, when a lot of horses hit 2 miles and go a little bit beyond it, they run out of stamina. But he gets going at that stage. He quickens up at that stage. But whether he can do the same in over 2 miles in the Melbourne Cup, well, that's the question.
And John, just very briefly, gate number 6, that would please you?
Yes, I think so. I haven't spoken to his jockey yet, Greg Hall, about the draw, but I'd imagine he's pleased about it. Obviously, he feels that you can't give away much ground. You can't go wide in the cup, particularly when you have top weight and you're handicapped right up to your best form. Obviously, you know, he's nothing to spare at the weight, so I think he'll be keen to save all the ground he can, and I'm sure he'll be happy with that sort of a draw.
John, thanks for your time this afternoon. The best of luck on Tuesday.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
John Ox, the trainer of Enzelli. What did you make of that, Jen?
Well, that was 99, Peter. That was the Ascot Gold Cup then, and of course he ran in it as well this year. He was midfield, and I just thought he held his ground there. A couple of things worry me about that horse, of what I've seen of him on the tapes. Wears blinkers. When he gets to the front, he does get a little bit lost in his races. Greg Hall might be able to straighten him out there, but he's also a little bit field shy, and that's a concern.
Well, one of the other overseas riders is number 2, Far Cry, and this horse will be well ridden by Kevin Darley. He has a good reputation. Martin Piper's the trainer, has gate 10 and the weight of 57 kilos, 9 wins from 21. Recent performances for Far Cry, this Irish-bred horse. He's actually been over the hurdle, so he's got something in common with Vintage Crop. Runner-up in the Ascot Gold Cup, runner-up in the Goodwood Cup, and he's only had the 2 starts on rain-affected ground for 1 second. Let's find out some more about Far Cry as we return to Sandown. Martin Pipe, the trainer, is with us. Martin, welcome to Australia.
Thank you, Peter. Really nice to be here. Really enjoying Australia.
How's the horse?
The horse, he's relaxed. Seems to be enjoying it. Took the travelling very well, we think. Probably certainly better than the trainer anyway. But he looks in fine form, eating well.
We're watching the 2000 Ascot Gold Cup, and that is Far Cry in the gold colours with Kaif Tara moving up on the outside. He looks as though he's a real dogged doer sort of stayer.
Yes, he certainly is. He loves the scrap. Doesn't mind getting bumped and bored, as you can see. But he really fights, really sticks his head out and tries hard. He's never going to be a horse that's going to win very far or get beat very far, I hope. Let's hope he's really involved, because he does stick his neck out. He does try hard.
I think that's very important, Martin, that he doesn't mind a scrap, because we've had horses like Double Trigger, Oscar Schindler, a lot of the horses that have come for the Melbourne Cup. Once they get involved in the big field, it's a different way of racing to them. But if he doesn't mind it, then he'll be suited by the big field.
Yes, he won the Northumberland Plate, which is on Newcastle. Perhaps a similar sort of track to Flemington. Tight, left-handed track. There were 20-odd runners. He certainly fought out the finish well.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing you on the day. We're looking forward to seeing your horse. The best of luck for Tuesday, and we'll look forward to catching up then.
OK, Peter. Nice to talk to everyone.
He's a real character, Martin Pipe, Johnny Letts, and I might be talking to him on Tuesday afternoon.
Pete, there was a ring of confidence there, and I think he's entitled to be confident about this horse. He's the horse I like in the race. He's won a hurdle race. He's following the same pattern as Vintage Crop. When he came over, he'd won a hurdle race in '93, and he's the horse to beat. He's lumping big weights all the time over the distance too, and he's performing behind Kaif Tara and those horses. He's the one to beat.
Well, very shortly we'll be talking to James Fanshawe, the trainer of Arctic Owl. We'll take a break. You're watching our special preview of the 2000 Foster's Melbourne Cup.
It's the biggest event on the Australian racing calendar. One day, one race, one winner. 2000 Foster's Melbourne Cup, Tuesday on 10.
Wherever you're watching around Australia, throughout New Zealand, or indeed throughout the United States of America, hope you're enjoying our preview of the 2000 Foster's Melbourne Cup, and we are down to the third of the overseas raiders in number 3, and that is Arctic Owl. James Fanshawe is the trainer, David Harrison takes the ride. Bad gate at 21, as we've already discussed. The weight 56.5 kilos, has won 9 of 21. Now the recent performances: 7th in the Ascot Gold Cup, not a great performance, but then came out and won the Shergar Cup and the Irish St Leger, and has won 2 of 8 in the wet. And let's return to Sandown and the trainer of this great horse from overseas, Arctic Owl, James Fanshawe. James, welcome back to Melbourne.
Morning, Peter. Hi there. Good to be back.
What did you think of Derby Day yesterday? It was an amazing atmosphere, wasn't it?
Great buzz there, thoroughly enjoyed the day. As always, it's a great thrill to come to first of all, the Cox Plate, and then the Derby meeting is a good warm-up for Cup Day on Tuesday.
Now, importantly, how's the horse? How's he settled in?
Yeah, he seems fine. You always hope that they take the long journey well, and he's been here. It'll be 3 weeks on Tuesday he's been here. He took the journey okay. He was a little bit lethargic in his work on Tuesday, but he seems to have brightened up since then, and I'm pretty happy with him.
The gate's done you no favours, barrier 21. Is that a concern to you at all?
Well, I don't think there's any point being concerned, because that's what you get. You get what you're given. But the record of the higher numbers has been pretty good over the last few years. I think the first and second last year were drawn high.
Yeah.
So in many ways I'd be rather drawn out there than on the rails.
And where would you expect him, James, to be in the race? Will he race up the front? Will he be midfield? Whereabouts?
Well, I really leave that to David, but he's not a front runner, and I think in a race of this calibre you just got to pop out, and hopefully you can just get a nice position and sort of free wheel for the first 3/4 of the race, sort of thing.
James, thanks for your time this afternoon. We appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you on Tuesday.
Well, thanks a lot, Peter, and thanks for all your help.
James Fanshawe, the trainer of Arctic Owl. And I know they wanted James to pose with the cup out there at Sandown this afternoon. He wouldn't do it. He's very superstitious.
Oh, that's right. Yes, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Peter, this horse, his last win was in the Irish St Leger. On that occasion, remember Yavana's Pace, who came out here last year. He led up that race, and this horse kept going quite well towards the line, and his last couple have been pretty good. I know the jockey has quite a nice opinion of this, and of course David Harrison did ride Travelmate last year.
That's right.
He's on this horse, and I think he thinks he's a little bit better.
And I think he nearly finished up in the car park, didn't he, last year, David Harrison, or caused a few to go into the car park?
Well, it was a bit of both to blame there,
yes.
I've got to say. But he could have finished a little bit closer, that's for sure.
All right, well, they're the overseas riders. Let's get on to the local chances. And number 4 is Diatribe, the Caulfield Cup winner. George Hanlon's already won 3 Melbourne Cups. Jimmy Cassidy is the rider. Not a great gate at 15. And the weight of 55 kilos includes the penalty. Now, the recent performances, pretty good, very strong. 3rd in the Turnbull, 1st in the Caulfield Cup, 2nd in the BMW Cox Plate. Jem, we'll get your opinion of this horse, and we're going to take a look at the Caulfield Cup as we do. And there he is in the black colours, just getting through near the rail. It was a brilliant ride.
It was a great ride, no doubt about that, and a dream run through in a race such as the Caulfield Cup, that's for sure. Don't forget to look out for Cupstad Way there, getting down in those pink colours as well to run second. Diatribe, look, he's done everything right, Peter, running second to Sunline. You can't sneeze at that, that's for sure. He's a terrific horse. Whether or not he runs a strong 3,200, that's got to be a worry, yeah. But he's done everything right, and I can't bag him, that's for sure.
I reckon if he had have drawn a better gate, that you'd be more confident about him getting 3,200, but from where he is, it might be tough.
Might be tough, but have a look at the rest of the field. He's one of the better horses in it.
All right, on to number 5, and that is now the Melbourne Cup favourite, Freemason, after the performance yesterday, trained by John Hawkes. Larry Cassidy, the rider, ideally drawn in gate 2, and with a nice weight of 53 kilos. And the performances, well, this horse is certainly working up towards a win. 9th in the Yalumba Stakes, 4th in the Caulfield Cup, 4th in the McKinnon. Terrific run yesterday, and has won on rain-affected ground. at the thoughts of Richard Freedman about Freemason in a moment, but let's find out from the horse's mouth, so to speak. Wayne Hawkes is with us here at Flemington. You must have been delighted with that run yesterday, Wayne.
Yes, Peter, everything went to plan, and we're looking forward to Tuesday, that's for sure.
Horse pulled up well after the race?
Yeah, he pulled up really good, and I'll be honest, I had to sleep in this morning, but John Hawkes was round at the stables, and when he got home this morning, he was bouncing around like a 2-year-old, so that's enough, isn't it?
Let's have a look at the run yesterday. That's Freemason getting up into about 7th position at the moment in the cerise colours, and the good thing about the race yesterday, Wayne, was that it wasn't a gut-buster for him at all.
You're right, Peter. I mean, you know, John Hawkes' thoughts were, you know, if the horse won, well, obviously fantastic, but if he didn't win, all he had to do was just to be running home, hitting the line hard and strong, and that's what he did, because you have to bear in mind that not many horses got back yesterday and ran home exceptionally quick, so he kept getting to the line, this horse, Freemason, and he was, you know, great run considering the way the track raced.
What about 3,200? I suppose you'll only know on Tuesday, won't you?
Well, that's exactly right. I mean, it doesn't matter what, you know, what anyone thinks or what breeding suggests or whatever. It's up to the individual horse, and you know, I think the best thing about this horse, Freemason, this campaign is that, you know, over these staying trips, he has relaxed, and he is a horse that can pull very hard, and if he pulls at all, he's got no hope. So he's been very relaxed, and, well, you have to be to run a 2-mile on Melbourne Cup Day.
Finally, the state of the track has been the big talking point before this carnival started on Derby Day. What sort of ground doesn't he go on? Is there any surface he doesn't like?
Not really, Peter. You know, I mean, he does like it better on top of the track, but, you know, he won a Queensland Derby in the wet, but, you know, the way the weather is, and it's blowing a gale here at Flemington today, and it's only Sunday, if we don't get any more rain, people might be a bit surprised how the track will come up. Thanks for your time this afternoon. Catch up with you on Tuesday. Best of luck. Thanks, Peter.
Wayne Hawkes joining us out here at Flemington, and let's go back to Sandown now. It's been like musical chairs out there. Rich, what are your thoughts on Freemason?
Well, I think Freemason actually deserves his place at the top of the bookies board. He is the favourite, and he should remain that way. His form's been absolutely outstanding, I think. He's run 4th in the Caulfield Cup, always the best lead-up event. The horses that run well in the Caulfield Cup tend to run well in the Melbourne Cup, and I think his run yesterday was first class, not a gutbuster, as you said, and he is working up to a win. Risk is the 2 miles. I think he'll run it out. His last win was in the at Eagle Farm in the Queensland Derby, over 2,400 metres, and he's a bit more mature, and I think he'll run the 32 right out. The only trap might be the barrier number 2. He gets back in his races. You can get cluttered up. You can get some interference on the first corner from those inside gates. So, you know, that's a bit of a risk for him. But given a clear run, I reckon he's obviously the horse to beat.
Well, we'll be coming back to you shortly for some more thoughts on other runners, and if you could possibly use those eye drops that we sent out to Sandown this morning before we do come back to you, it would be appreciated. Saeed bin Saror trains Lightning Arrow. Frankie Dettori is the rider. Barrier 14, of course, from the famous Godolphin stable with 53 kilos. Now, this horse, he's not a big horse. Let's have a look at his recent performances. And second in the glorious handicap, the Chester Stakes, the Festival Stakes, and he has had no wins from 3 starts on rain-affected ground. Let's see, I don't think they're terribly confident with this horse. I don't think so, Pete, but last year we did see him run second to Godolphin stable in the Melbourne Cup with Frankie Dettori on top. Tomorrow I can see this horse going forward again with Dettori, and you just don't know. He might be the one that does what their other horse nearly did last year. Yeah. So they are always, set the pace, but also keep running. And if it happens to be, you know, a little bit wet, you never know. Horses that don't handle it, they might be able to pick him up.
He is likely to go forward, John, but my concern with him is Central Park was a better horse.
Yes, absolutely.
He'd won more prize money, he'd won more
Derby
races.
winner.
Yeah.
So he was a class horse, and I don't think that Lightning Arrow's got the class, but as Letzi said, he might go forward.
Pete,
second coming, number 7. Sorry to talk while you're interrupting, Letzi, but I'll just keep on going here if you don't mind, if that's okay with you. Is that all right? Michael Moroney, one of his 3 runners. Michael Coleman, the rider for second coming. Former Derby winner here, of course, barrier number 17. The recent races, well, they look like this. And his run in the Caulfield Cup, not too bad, Jen, won 7th.
No, well, this was his former Derby winner, of course, and he won the Auckland and Wellington Cups earlier on this year. But his run in the Caulfield Cup was okay. Pete, he did have to hook out wide and run on, but I'd say a place chance for him in this. And one thing against him, one of our producers on this program, Nikki Wilton, has tipped him as the good thing in the Melbourne Cup, so that means you can automatically just draw a line through his name and treat him as a scratching if Nick's tipped him. All right, there are 7. We've still got more to come. You're watching our special preview of the 2000 Foster's Melbourne Cup.
happening here at Flemington. The roses are in bloom. They are the colours of the horse that won the Melbourne Cup in 1890, Carbine. I wonder what colours will be carried to victory in the Foster's Melbourne Cup on Tuesday. Let's have a look at the next of our runners. It is the Gay Waterhouse trained Coco Cabana. Chrissy Muntz the rider, wide gate in barrier number 22. Nice weight of 52 kilos. Pretty good run in the McKinnon here yesterday, but the better performance was the Metrop at Randwick going back 3 runs ago. We're going to have a look at that, and that was a pretty good win, Richard Friedman.
It certainly was. She fought on well in the Metropolitan. It's her home track, of course, Randwick, and she does go best there. But I thought it was a big improvement yesterday in the McKinnon compared to her Caulfield Cup run, where she finished 25 lengths behind the winner and she was tailed off. She needs to improve massively again, I think, to win a Melbourne Cup from the 22 alley, Pete. So she's not one of my selections, but it wouldn't surprise to see her run into a place. And don't worry about the colour of my eyes, mate. They will improve on their own. The colour of your hair won't.
Yes, well, that's true, but I would suggest just close your eyes before you bleed to death out there, and we'll come back to you very shortly. Carpstad Way is the next of our runners, and a lot is going to depend on the state of the track for this horse, which is trained by Chris Wood. Damien Oliver, the rider, barrier number 12, 52 kilos, recent racing. Well, the second in the Caulfield Cup was absolutely outstanding, and last night at the barrier draw, we caught up with Damien Oliver.
Yeah, drawn 12. I mean, that's not a bad gate at all. We've got a long run to the first turn, so just got to hope for a little bit of luck now.
Chances of backing up from Doremus's effort?
Be a good chance if the track's dry. We need some fine weather between now and Cup Day, and if we do get fine weather, I think the track will race good, and he'll be in with a good chance. If it's wet, this horse is no good at all in soft conditions.
Yeah, that's the big poser, isn't it, with Carpstad Way? I think he'll just about win if the track's OK.
Pete, his sectionals in the Caulfield Cup were outstanding. The last 600 in 34.9. He come from 15th at the 400, and gee, he's a horse. He hasn't won over any further than 2,000, but you take the winner out of the Caulfield Cup and he's won over 2,400, and one of the best wins we'd have seen.
Yeah, Chris Wood is definitely going to be keeping an eye on the skies. Let's have a look at the second of Michael Moroney's runners in Marrittpoor. Greg Childs, the rider, barrier 7. 52 kilos, but gee, it's hard to make a case when you look at the recent performances, Jen.
Peter, just a slight improvement on him yesterday, but I didn't like the look of him. I don't think his coat's right. He just hasn't fired a shot, really, since he's come from overseas.
The Hind should have just about won the Melbourne Cup here last year. He got terrible interference about 150 metres from home. He will line up for the Peter Hayes stable, and, well, you wouldn't really fancy his chances, I wouldn't think. Let's have a look at the facts and figures surrounding him. And Stephen Baster is the rider, gate number 13, 52 kilos. And as we look at the recent performances, Rich, well, this horse had a heart problem at Moonee Valley when it failed to finish, so let's hope everything's all right in that department.
Well, apparently he had a heart attack or something and he was pulled up out of the race, and that's never good form going into a Melbourne Cup. He did run 10th yesterday in the McKinnon, but he was beaten 6 lengths. He's always been a horse that was going to do something. I just don't think he's going to win a Melbourne Cup tomorrow, Pete.
No, I think he might have missed his chance last year, unfortunately, with that interference. Moving on now to number 12, and he's going to have his supporters. Yippee-I-O. Alan Denham is the trainer. Darren Beegman, the rider. Not a good gate, but he gets back anyway. Barrier 19, 52 kilos. Recent performances, good win in the Queen's Cup, flew home in the Herbert Power, and then this win in the Moonee Valley Cup. And I really like the way this horse got to the line this night.
Well, Pete, he got up alongside a horse called Brew and beat him this night, and he made quick ground, Yippee-I-O, from the 400 to the home turn, and that might be something that helps him tomorrow. But gee, isn't he a great old racehorse? He was rated above Might and Power, you know, 3 years ago.
Yeah, and he got very sick and nearly died.
Nearly died, and that was actually through travel sickness, wasn't it? Down here?
Yes, it was.
He's been racing in great heart, hasn't he?
Yeah, and I just thought he was striding a little differently that night at Moonee Valley. I think he was stretching out a lot better, and I give him a chance with the lightweight.
Yeah,
the Herbert Power was a good run, wasn't it?
Yeah, terrific.
Yeah, it was. Normally the Moonee Valley Cup doesn't stand up though, does it?
Yeah, that's right. I think Kingston Rule was the last one that won the double.
Yeah.
All right, on to Bohemiath, number 13. Well, this horse too has presented some claims, but needs a rock-hard track. Robert Smurden, the trainer. Darren Gauci, the rider. Gate number 3, so that's pretty good. 51.5 kilos. Flashed home in the Herbert Power, and 4th in the Moonee Valley Cup, 13th in the McKinnon. This is the run in the Herbert Power, and that's Bohemiath in the red colours, getting to the outside and about to run past Yippee-I-O. It was some sort of run.
It was, Peter, and all his runs have been a bit like this so far, or in the last few months. You go back to May, and he did win the Adelaide Cup over this distance, the 3,200. I think if the track dries out, he definitely comes into the race. If it doesn't, I don't think he will. Maybe a place.
It does look very wet that day, but but it wasn't really a rain-affected track.
That's true. That's true, but I think he's a better horse on the dry.
Oh, absolutely. Let's move on to number 14, Our Unicorn. Well, he was a controversial horse 12 months ago. Colin Alderson, the trainer, Matthew Gatt, the rider, barrier number 23. As we look at his recent performances, well, I find it really hard to have him. Richard Freedman, what do you think?
Well, Pete, he hasn't won a race since March 1999, and he hasn't run a place since. So he's got to make massive improvement to get into the placings in a Melbourne Cup, I would think, from barrier 23. So he won't be one of the ones I'll be backing. OK, and might I add that the eyes are looking very much better. Congratulations. Richard Freedman out there at Sandown, Jenny Chapman and John Letts in the studio. We're continuing to go through the field wherever you're watching around Australia, around New Zealand or throughout the United States of America. Hopefully you're finding the winner of the Foster's Melbourne Cup.
Mitsubishi dealers in 10 are giving you the chance to get wild in the all-new Lancer VRX Coupe.
Attempt follow arrest.
Watch Channel 10 Sunday night movie, Ihaka.
Are you saying I couldn't handle a man?
With Rebecca Gibney and Temuera Morrison.
Oh, no, that's the last thing I would say.
For your chance to win a dressed-up Lancer VRX Coupe during the world premiere.
When did you realise you were attracted to jealous men?
They weren't jealous till they met me.
Ihaka, 8:30 tonight on 10.
Hurry into Harvey Norman and buy furniture and bedding with no deposit and no interest for 24 months and no repayments for 12 months. Lounge and dining furniture, bedding and bedroom suites. No deposit with no interest for 24 months and no repayments for 12 months.
Harvey Norman,
go! Hey, please! They've got no taste.
Too right, man. They always give out with dogs.
Oh, a soft drink, it ain't.
The time is right for even more knockout music at a knockout price. CDs for under $20. Albums from Naughty by Nature, Britney Spears, Tina Cousins, Sarah McLachlan, Custard and the Screaming Jets. There's Groove Armada, Puff Daddy, Alice DJ and Backstreet Boys. Knockout music at a knockout price. Australian-made CDs for under $20.
Attention, 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 Canberra and surrounding suburbs. This is not a rug sale, this is a rug price burn. All rugs 90% off and below cost. Due to suppliers' orders, everything must sell, sell, sell. If you don't like the price, every offer will be considered. Come in now for the biggest range of highest quality Chinese and Oriental rugs. All styles, all shapes, all colours, all must go. Hurry, hurry, hurry. This is not a rug sale, this is a rug price burn. This is a one-time offer. Stocks are limited and sale ends Monday. 30 Lonsdale Street, Bratton.
Get wet, go wild with hydro gliders. No batteries, just hold them underwater and let go. Leopard shark with adjustable fins, circles left or right. X14 hydro rocket, it flies underwater. Hydro gliders in stores now from Brits and Pieces.
Hurry into Harvey Norman and buy